Hello, everybody. Hello, happy Saturday. It's so great to see so many of you popping in the room. Welcome to today's Daily Antidote of Song. It is so nice to see so many familiar faces and some new faces in the room with us today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello to everybody out there on Facebook Live, and hello to the whole gang here in the room. Julia, who's running the tech today. Aaron, who's running the tech today. Hubby Jenkins, who's going to be singing with us today. Welcome. Hello, Annette in California. Deborah in Kentucky. Dick in Vancouver. Hello, Carolyn in Idaho. Gary in Mass. Hello, Becky, also Vancouver. Hello, Dan in Virginia. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Caroline in Maryland. And Delhi, also Maryland. Hello, Jim Harkless. Jim Harkless is in the house, coming in from Maryland. Hello, Sheila in Florida. Kevin in New Hampshire. Hello, Kim, one of our Ubuntu singers coming in from Vancouver. Glad to see you again. Barry Galef in Maryland. Hello, Martha in Oregon, and Clyde in North Carolina. Hi, Sarah in Texas. Hello, Peter and Janet in Toronto. Glad to see you both. Hello, Susan in Seattle. Hello to Bonnie and Ione, whose 102nd birthday is coming up soon. Woohoo! I can't believe it. I think that is the coolest thing ever. Hello and greetings to, let's see, Jamie in Victoria. Nice to see you. And Tuki in London. Glad you're back. Hi, Kathy in Virginia. Hello, Luda and Mark today. Hello and hello. Nice to see you guys coming in from BC. Hello to Nancy in Kentucky. Oh, no, Nancy in Washington. Barb in Kentucky. Toby in California, one of our educators in the room. Glad to see you, Toby. Hello, Anne in Maryland. Jim in New York City. Trish, glad to have you today. Hello, Molly Hickman, coming in from Blacksburg, VA. Nice to see you today, sweetie. Hello also to all the folks off video. That's my mom in New Jersey, Barbara and Hannah and Jane and Natalia and Valerie and Jenny. So glad so many of you have decided to join us today. Hello, Tom. I don't think I saw you coming in from BC, Victoria. So glad there are so many folks in the room today. And hello again to everybody out there on Facebook Live. Welcome to the 6th day of our Carpe Diem Arts Week. We've had a magnificent week, and it's a great day today because we get to sing along again with Hubby Jenkins, who was in the room with us once before in our Archive Challenge Week. And today we have actually 2 songs that we're going to share. Hubby is bringing us a ballad from the archive, which is less of a sing-along and more fun to listen to. And then we're going to do a sing-along after that with him that he is going to, I believe, play the bones. Hubby, welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about the plan for the day?
Thank you for having me. Hi, everybody. I don't know you individually, so I'll just do a general hello. The plan for today, yeah, we're going to do a version of John Henry that's very near and dear to me, that I love very much. And then we're going to sing along and do some Georgia Sea Island stuff and kind of get into their old school church stuff, and we'll sing some a cappella stuff and see what we get out of that. But yeah.
Sounds great. We're super excited.
Do I just start now?
You can go right ahead whenever you are feeling ready.
Okay, I'm feeling ready. So I'll play this song, this version of John Henry. Comes from a Lomax recording made, I think, in 1940, early 40s, 41 or 42 or something like that, in Mississippi. Recorded Tim Hemphill and his band, Lucius Smith on banjo, who is a badass mofo. There's videos of him that they put up from their archive. Askew is Alec Askew's on guitar. They call him Turpentine Askew, and I'm forgetting the fiddle player now, Will something. And we'll talk about it, I guess, after we play it. But here's their John Henry. Take this hammer to the captain. Tell him he's gone. Tell him he's gone. Take this hammer to the captain. Tell him he's gone. When you hear that bulldog barking, someone round, someone round. When you hear that bulldog barking, someone round. If you hear that
was so incredible. And that banjo playing is just so remarkable. And the speed with which, I think it is matched only by the speed with which I can talk and say hello to everybody when we first come in the room. That's really, really amazing. Thank you so much. So I'm glad we're going to do a little something sing-alongy after we chat for a minute. But before we shift to that, do you want to talk about the John Henry song in a musical context or in a cultural context? Or do you want to talk about it, how it's sort of relating to some of what's going on in the world today? Or all three?
Um, I mean, I guess we could do a little bit of all three for sure. I'll say that, one of the things that, John Henry is one of the most popular songs in like the American, like recorded 1,000,000 trillion times. And for me, part of what's really connects to today and what I find very captivating about that song is, the advent of the cell phone police phenomenon. People, citizens filming police misconduct and brutality and violence and murder. And for me, John Henry is the cell phone song of its day. So these people who are working on these railroads, these enslaved black bodies, these prisoners, a lot of them died. A lot of them were killed by the captains, by the guards, by malnutrition, by disease, by overworking. And we don't know their names, and we won't remember them. And they went under the radar, or whatever the equivalent of the radar was back then. And so John Henry, to become this song, gives a name and a face to this person and gives us a way to define this injustice. And I really like this version of the song that has sort of this melancholy feeling that going to the 4-chord to resolve a melody like always feels like it's open. So like I love that feeling of the song. The cries of like, this is my brother, he's dead, just like very clearly he is dead, and having those there mixed with images of, if you hear the bulldog barking, someone's round. If you hear the peafowl howling, it's going to rain. These are signals and allusions to running away and escaping. If you hear the bulldogs, be careful. If it's raining, your tracks are covered, your scent's covered, all that kind of stuff. So I think this version really carries a lot of weight of just connecting to today, but also how this song would be historically, or how this song would be relevant to black people of the day, and prisoners of the day, and so on and so forth. And I could ramble some more, because I could also say that Sid Hemphill was like the son of enslaved people. So there's also that kind of connection there of having these stories here and how that lineage still travels through. So we can, what can you say? The roots of oppression and the systems in this country are based on slavery, period. And you can kind of feel it through the song in that way as well.
Thank you for sharing all of that. And so just quickly, if there's folks in the room who don't know, can you just sort of encapsulate the John Henry tale in case it wasn't apparent as we sang the words through the ballad? The tale is that he...
Sure, so... Oh, are you going to tell it?
Nope.
No. Oh, so the tale is that John Henry, and I'm at my old age, I forget things sometimes, so fill in the blanks. But John Henry was a person who worked on the railroad. They were blasting land, clearing land to lay down tracks, and his job was to swing a big hammer, and someone else's job was to hold a giant iron spike, and he would crack through rocks all day, every day. And at some point, the steam drill gets invented, and someone brings it around the camp, and they decide to have a competition between John Henry and this steam drill. Who can break more rock? Who can clear more land in a day? And so they go head to head. And legend tells it that John Henry, beats the steam drill, wins the competition, and then dies from exhaustion. And in some of the tellings, his wife, Polly Ann, picks up the hammer and gets to work. In other songs, there's allusions of how they perform his funeral, people dressing in red, where they bury him, all that kind of stuff, which becomes more of the legend stuff and cultural things. But that's the crux of the legend. And as far as I know, I think a lot of it is true. I don't know if him winning is all that true, but he definitely was a prisoner who died overworked after a steam drill came to the camp. But the legend, the song that carries is that.
Thank you. So,
and of course, the line that also, sorry.
Nope, go ahead. please.
I think the line that you can find in most of the versions of the song is, this is the hammer that killed John Henry, but it won't kill me. Which is, no matter what version you find, you'll find that line there being the most important, being the galvanizing force of this song, being why all the workers shared it and it passed from camp to camp, and being able to just have that in there, like that little jab in there. So, yeah.
Thank you. So when you were, you actually were in the American Folklife Center archives, you found this song and other songs, I think, and you sort of chose to make them or sing them in your own way. Can you say anything at all about your time in the archive, sort of what it is that drew you either to that music in general, or when you were in the archive, how you felt you were being driven to find certain things, or how you feel like you found your path in the archive? What inspired you?
What inspired me? And how did I go about navigating the archive? I think I don't know. I mean, I'm just generally inspired because I love the music, and it's inspiring and very happy, and what's the word? Inspiring and, I guess, joyful that there's a spot where I can go and find these songs. Like, I know that I can just go there and dig into it, my quarantine shutdown instrument was the violin. And so, like, I'd be like, I want to learn the fiddle, but I really want to learn, like, kind of like specific Virginia, something, yada, yada. Boom, can go to the archives and kind of have that. Or, I want to know what this gospel song sounded like in 4 different places, and I can find that and have access to that. Or, maybe 1 or 2 songs from an artist made it to a compilation, and then the rest are just sitting, in the archives, and that could be really fun too. Be like, what? There's 5 more songs by this person? So I find a lot of joyful things when I go through the archives, and can be surprised always,
That's so great. So for kids who are growing up now, they're not necessarily getting sort of the joy of being in a library in the way that some of us did when we were growing up. And that idea that you take yourself to the stacks and you look for the book that you're looking for, and then you find, because of the lovely way they're filed, the books on either side that are all related to that same topic, but that hadn't come up in your search. And it's funny, you're talking about it like the songs are the same way. You're in the archive, you find the one and it leads you to the others. And I think that makes you a classic archive nerd, like, but that's okay, because I think most of us in here are also in some way or another.
I'm definitely that. I used to complain about millennials a lot. I used to just go like, oh, these millennials, they don't know about the hardships. And actually, I was on tour with Rowan, who you had earlier in the week, and he informed me that I am actually a millennial. I'm like the first year of the millennial or something like that. So I caught tail end of it. I caught the tail end of, having to call someone before leaving my house and meeting them and having to be there at the time we said we'd meet, and, messing around with the Dewey Decimal System and all that stuff. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So, I think it's really the curiosity that's the main drive, right? And so even if millennial curiosity, or even whatever this generation now is called, even if their curiosity doesn't read out the same way that we learned to map ours, hopefully they're still inspired and following the same trails to more and more things that can lead us to understand our world better, which I think very much has to do with the song you just sang. And so then I'm curious whether or not the song you're gonna sing, so the Georgia Sea Island Singers, did you find them also in the archive, or did you come to them some other way?
I wonder. I think I heard them first on, not through the archive, but through, what the hell is this record called? I'm sorry, what the heck is this record called? It's not one of the Southern Journey albums, but it was some other compilation that was put out, I think, by you guys, our Smithsonian, and I first heard it, and then in Chocolate Drops we started getting really into it, so I heard a lot through them, and then of course that was when we would take our trips to the folk life and hang out with Steven and stuff like that, and like, and then found more and heard more, for sure.
That's For those of you in the room who don't know, Steve Winnick and Jennifer Cutting, who are our hosts in here regularly when we're having archive challenges and who also perform in here with us and host at other times. If you can just envision for a minute being in the stacks at the Library of Congress with Steve and Jen, and we know their curiosity level is really, really high, and their knowledge level, one is a folklorist, one's an ethnomusicology, also very, very high. Like, imagine in the shoes that Hubby is talking about, being in the archive with them and just getting to play around and look for things and go through cultural history all there in some form or another, whether it's in photograph or whether it's in audio files or other cultural artifacts that are in there. And then imagine that just down the street from the library is the Smithsonian, and you can do it all over again at the Smithsonian's Folklore Archive. I mean, it's a really amazing body of work that exists between those two entities. And it sounds like you've spent a lot of time, maybe also with the Smithsonian recordings. Is that right?
That's for sure. Yeah. And I mean, that's where a lot of the inspiration comes, and like being surprised. And it's like you were just saying earlier, you know, not always being able to just search for exactly what you want and having to learn about the things around it and exposing yourself to different songs and talents and ideas, so on.
Thank you. It's so much fun to chat with you. And so, of course, I'm, part ethnomusicologist, part folklorist, and I could do this all day long, but I'm going to ask that we switch over to singing so that folks in the room get a chance to sing along a little bit more. Can you tell us about the Georgia Sea Island song that you're going to sing, and tell us about the bones or whatever else before you start?
Sure. I think we're going to do, we'll do this song called Throw Me Anywhere, or Buzzard Lope, from Bessie Jones and crew. And one of the things that really entices me about Georgia Sea Island singing is the idea that it's very old. It's super, get more articulate, drink more coffee. That it is connected to, it's what some people think early slave churches could have sounded like. Very similar to this early sounds, the Georgia Sea Islands being isolated for many reasons, them having their own land for a little bit after the war, the Civil War, and obviously geographical and all that kind of stuff. A lot of things are preserved in the food and in the music and in the language and in the culture. And so this is one of those things that kind of gives you, I kind of get to feel this connection in that way. This song, Buzzard Lope, is also has this feeling of, you can throw me anywhere you want in that old field. You can't hurt me. You can't do anything to me since King Jesus has saved me, has claimed me. And so that has its own sort of empowerment feeling of, you don't have to necessarily believe in Jesus or be that Christian, but you can understand that feeling of like, oh, you can't hurt me anymore because I've got this shield, this electric light from some universe that protects me. Also like that. And in the Georgia Sea Island singing, or in the style of ring shouts, there's usually a stick person, who is keeping a rhythm with like a broom handle, and people will clap and stomp their feet along. I'm just going to imitate that with a pair of bones, but we can do all the singing together. And so I would sing a line like, throw me anywhere, Lord. And your line would be, in that old field. And I'll say, throw me anywhere, Lord, in that old field. Bum, 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 in that old field. Bum, 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 in that old field. Got it? It's going to go a little bit faster than that, but we're going to do this. So that's your line. In that old field, in that old field. So let's see what we got. Throw me anywhere, Lord, in that old field. 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 Don't care where you throw me in that old field. Don't care where you throw me in that old field. Don't care where you throw me in that old field. Don't care where you throw me in that old field. Since King Jesus owned me in that old field. Don't care where you throw me in that old field. Don't care how you do me in that old field. Since King Jesus choose me in that old field. Don't care how you do me. Since King Jesus choose me in that old field. Don't care how you do me in that old field. Since King Jesus choose me in that old field. You may beat or bang me in care how you do me in that old field. Since King Jesus chose me in that old field. Throw me anywhere, Lord. Throw me anywhere, Lord, in that old field. Throw me anywhere, Lord. Throw me anywhere, Lord, in that old field. Don't care how you treat me in that old field. Since King Jesus meet me in that old field. Don't care how you choose me in that old field. Since King Jesus choose me in that old
Woo! Okay, that was completely amazing. I don't know. I don't think anybody's played the bones for us in the room yet. That is just absolutely fabulous to watch and to hear. And it actually sounds great on a Zoom recording. So that's kind of lucky. Super amazing. Yeah. And I'm actually thinking that you sort of let the cat out of the bag, that the fiddle or the violin has been your instrument of choice through the pandemic, because now we've got the perfect excuse to ask you to come back and sing with us again, because now we're going to have you bring your fiddle in here and fiddle for us and
I'm
sing
just
along.
saying, if I play fiddle on this show, it might be the last time you have me on here. Unless you guys like the sound of a cat screeching for 2.5 minutes.
We may or may not take our chances. We'll have to work on that. Hubby, thank you. That was really, really amazing. Do you want to say anything more about that song or about the Sea Island Singers before we start moving out of the room and saying happy Saturday to everybody?
No, I mean, I think that's pretty much the gist of it. And, you know, just knowing that it's, you know, that a lot of these songs are rooted in sort of injustice in this country and black people's strife, and you know, knowing more of that history about those songs makes them more powerful and more interesting, and makes you more adept at dealing with things that are happening today, because it's old, it's a rerun, and it's just rooted in, you can find the roots of it, the roots of the fight against it in this music, and so carry that to heart as well.
So thank you, Hubby, for all the ways that you're bringing that music forward. Thank you for all the ways that you're choosing the music that has a voice that still speaks about where we are now as a culture. And thanks for all of the ways that you are part of what is making the change in our slightly battered nation or massively battered nation, depending on the day or how I'm feeling at any given moment. Sure. So really, really appreciate that. So Hubby, do you have anything coming up that you want to let folks know about? Any either new releases or gigs or anything?
What do I have coming up? I don't have any new releases yet, but fingers crossed I'll get something out. I'm doing my first in-person gig of the year, May 15th, at the Green Odium in Rhode Island, Greenwich, Rhode Island. Next week, I'm doing what was supposed to be in person, but a blues music weekend where I'll be teaching the bones and doing a workshop on work songs. We'll just be singing a bunch of work songs together, and then another class where we'll just be playing the bones. And that's pretty much it. That's all I can think of. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Oh,
so, okay.
And every Tuesday night on my website, on my Facebook, I read Choose Your Own Adventure books and then play old-time music and drink whiskey. My moms are always both there, and we get to choose the book, and you guys decide which path we're going to go to. Last week we read the Mardi Gras Mystery, and this is from my childhood collection. My aunt found all my old Choose Your Owns when I was a kid, so that's always fun. And that's it. Now that's it.
Okay, so that's fabulous. How many people in this room are going to meet me at a Hubby Tuesday night reading party with whiskey? Because I'm definitely going to be there. And then can you tell us actually the name of the event where you're going to be teaching the bones? Because I want to see if there are any hands of people who would want to show up and learn the bones with Hubby, because I'm putting my hand up again for that. I would like to learn that. Can you tell us what the name is?
So sure. We can find... It's called the Summer Acoustic Music Week, SAMW, but it's a WUMB Blues Music Weekend. So you can find it through, you'll find it through both of those ways, and you can also find it if you go to my website. There's a link to it.
Oh, great.
That'll take you there.
Okay, perfect. All right, so Hubby's website is in the chat here, and for those of you out on Facebook, it's in the comment section there. And Hubby, we are so, so grateful that you did this with us today. Can you give us just a couple of lines of the Bones song again so we can sing it a couple more times before we say goodbye?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
We are always ready.
Throw me anywhere, Lord, in that old field. Throw me anywhere, Lord, in that old field. Don't care how you do me in that old field, since King Jesus chose me in that old field. Throw me anywhere, Lord, in that old field. Throw me anywhere, Lord, in that old. One more time. Throw me anywhere, Lord, in that old field. Throw me anywhere, Lord, in that old field.
Thank you, Hubby Jenkins. Super, super great to
Thank
sing
you.
with you today. Thank you for joining us. And I'm going to shout
Thank you.
out Janet and Peter, who were percussing their hearts out over there in Toronto. That was completely fun to watch. Thank you. And also shouting out, we've got 2 April birthday folks in the room. So Jim Harkless, who turned 90 on April 19th, I think. And Bonnie's mom, Ione, I'm not sure, who's going to be 102 at the end of this month. A huge shout out to both of these amazing folks who are also singing with us today in the room. And I also want to thank everybody on Facebook Live for being with us today. Thank you so much. Please join us tomorrow for the last day of our Carpe Diem Arts Week in this particular run. And tomorrow we are singing with somebody. We're singing with somebody great tomorrow. And we hope you'll join us. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.